This week, I realized that healing doesn't end with me. For the last few years, I've spent so much time rebuilding my own life, learning healthier habits and changing my mindset, working through hard seasons and figuring out who I wanted to become. But over the last few weeks, something has shifted. I've realized that if these habits are changing my life, why wouldn't I intentionally pass them on to my little girls? Hey, I'm Bev, and this is the Restart Life Mama. This space is for moms rebuilding their lives after survival mode. Maybe motherhood consumed you, maybe divorce cracked your world wide open, maybe life, trauma, burnout, or heartbreak left you looking around wondering how you even got here. And now you're trying to figure out how to rebuild everything: your health, confidence, finances, routines, identity, womanhood, your life. That's what we do here. I share the real messy process of rebuilding, from healing your mindset and nervous system to learning about how to adult, create routines, take care of yourself again, and build a life that actually feels good to live. I'm not coming to you from a perfect place. I'm on this journey too. After 5 years of rebuilding my own life after it crumbled, I've learned that healing isn't about becoming perfect. It's about learning how to show up for yourself with grace, honesty, and courage. So if you're restarting your life one small step at a time, you're in the right place. This week wasn't about chasing big goals or losing weight or growing my business. It was about creating a home that helps all of us thrive, because habits don't just shape individuals, they shape families. And I don't want my girls to spend their next 20 years unlearning things and relearning things that I could help them implement now. And I'm not saying my mom did anything wrong there. She did the very best that she could with what she had. But every generation has an opportunity to build on what came before. And that's what I want to do. This week was the girls' first week of summer vacation, and I intentionally made it a behind the scenes kind of week. Instead of filling every day with activities, we got our little house ready for the weeks ahead. We completely redid their bedrooms, they got new bed frames, and we decluttered. We sorted through toys, clothes, and all the little treasures that somehow collect over time. And something really sweet happened. One of my daughters looked around her room and she said, whenever we leave the house, we usually come back with something. And she's right. It's a toy or a craft or a treat. It's always something, though. Then she said, if we stop always bringing something home, we'd have less to clean up. And then, instead of feeling like we were getting rid of things, the girls were grateful for everything that we had. They were excited about their preteen room and to actually use their things because they could actually see what they owned. And don't get me wrong, this isn't because my girls have been neglected in any way. If anything, they're probably a little spoiled and they're deeply loved. And some of the best compliments I ever receive are that they're kind, respectful, funny, smart, and helpful. Those things matter so much more to me. But now I want to give them something else. Habits that help them thrive. Not rules for the sake of rules, but habits that make life easier and create peace and self-discipline. Habits that help them to become adults who know how to care for themselves and for others. So each week this summer, we're going to add just one thing. This week was cleaning and clearing. Next week, we're only going to eat at the table. That might sound simple, but think about everything that changes when you do that. Less mindless eating, more family conversation, less mess, more intentionality. The week after that, I want to start reading the Bible together before bed. Not as another thing to check off a list, but as a peaceful way to end our day and get God's word into their hearts and minds. Then we'll add an after-dinner walk, not to go anywhere, just to enjoy being together, moving our bodies, and getting those steps in. After that, a simple morning workout, and then Muay Thai practice. We're not trying to change everything overnight. We're just stacking one habit on top of another. And the funny thing is, these habits aren't just for my girls, they're for me too. Eating at the table, that's probably going to help me more than anyone. The morning workouts, I actually start those tomorrow. Very humbly. I'm not jumping into some intense fitness program. I'm focusing on the things my body genuinely needs right now, like my posture, my shoulders, my neck, my core, building a foundation instead of chasing perfection. Even cleaning up the laundry room wasn't just about having a cleaner house. That's where my treadmill is. Now I've actually made space to walk while I work. Sometimes success isn't about becoming more disciplined. It can be about removing the obstacles that were making discipline harder than it needed to be. And speaking of work, this has officially become the longest I've ever stayed consistent with creating content. It's not something I have to convince myself to do anymore. It's just part of my routine. And for the first time, I actually have enough data to study. I started posting consistently on May 10th. Now, a month and a half later, I can finally see patterns. I'm learning where my audience spends time. I'm learning what messages does resonate. I'm learning what people actually need from me. And instead of guessing, I get to grow with intention. And that feels really exciting because consistency is finally giving me clarity. I think the biggest lesson this week is that healing isn't just about changing your own life. It's about changing what gets passed on. Every healthy habit you build becomes something your children get to witness. Every promise you keep to yourself teaches them something about keeping promises to themselves. Every peaceful routine you create becomes part of the atmosphere they grow up in, and healing becomes a legacy. And legacy is built one ordinary day at a time. Next week, we're adding our first family habit, which is eating at the table, mostly together. I'm curious to see how such a small change affects our conversations, our routines, and even the way we think about and act with food. I'm also excited to begin my own morning movement routine and finally put that cleared out treadmill space to good use. It's just 1 week, one habit, one layer at a time. But I think rebuilding your life eventually becomes something even more beautiful than rebuilding yourself. It becomes rebuilding the environment around you, the atmosphere your children grow up in, and the routines that your family lives by. The little moments they'll someday remember without even realizing how much they shaped them. Maybe that's how real changes happen. Not through one dramatic decision, but through hundreds of ordinary ones. A room clean, a meal shared, a walk after dinner, a bedtime Bible story, a mom who keeps showing up. Those small moments become the foundation your family stands on and go back to. And maybe that's what rising from the ashes really looks like. Not just building a better life for yourself, but creating a better starting place for the people who come after you. I'll see you next week.